Right, so greetings class. Welcome to Mr. Marashani Online Lessons. And let me go through some questions in transport and trade. Section A, and if God permits, I am going also to do section B questions, okay? So the first question that we have, it says, which form of transport is the best suited to transport fresh produce from the market gardeners to the nearest town? Can we use aircraft? Can we use a bicycle? Can we use a train? Can we use a truck? Okay, so I think the correct answer for this one is a truck. Okay, is a truck. So you need to know that though market gardening, it produces more perishable goods. When the market gardens are near the town, road transport can be used efficiently, not to use air transport. So air transport would be ideal for transporting my fresh produce to overseas markets, not locally. And bicycles cannot carry large quantities due to its capacity, and also the train lacks the flexibility to deliver goods door to door. So the best one is a truck, which makes D the correct answer. Number 2, the table 12.1 shows the trade between Kenya and its trading partners in 1992. Okay, trading partners: European Union, Gulf States, Japan, preferential trade area. My exports are, there were 40 exports for European Union, which means the things that Kenya was selling out was 40%, and while the thing that Kenya was getting from other countries from European Union, it was 48%. And if you check also on Gulf States, it's 13% against 12%, 2% against 13% to 17% against 12%. Which of the following would it be the most favorable for Kenya to continue trading? So Kenya, it must continue if we have a situation whereby exports are more than imports, which makes this one the correct answer. So we're going to see it's preferential trade area, which makes D again the correct answer. Right. Number 3, a country is said to have a favorable balance of trade when the value of its exports and imports are very high. No, but country inofana kunzi in a favorable balance of trade when there is more exports than imports. So let us check that one. When exports and imports are equal, no. Imports exceeds exports, no. Exports exceeds imports. This is very, very true, which makes D the correct answer. Number 4, a large supermarket in Zimbabwe imports vegetables from South Africa. It ensures that the vegetables are fresh by using a what? Remember, this supermarket is importing from South Africa. So there is a long distance there. So it ensures that the vegetables are fresh by using anonzima refrigerated trucks, which makes D the correct answer. What does a country need to do to protect its industries from foreign goods? Unofunga kuti iwe nyika ingaita sei in order to protect its industries from foreign goods? Okay, that's number 1. We have impose what you call quotas. That's correct, because quotas are a limit on the quantity of goods allowed to be imported into a country. Therefore, no choice than to actually rely on their local products. This one is the correct answer. Number 6, the term used to describe the daily movement of people from home to work and back again is called commuting. Okay, right. The difference between the value of exports and imports of any country is called balance of payment. So is the balance of payment favorable or unfavorable? So let me explain a bit on that one. If the country is having more exports than imports, we call that favorable balance of payment. And if a country is having more imports than exports, we call that unfavorable. So this one is the correct answer, which is A for number 7. Right, and number 8, the most effective method to transport tourists through a large nature resource is actually by road. The table 12.2 below shows percentage exports for 4 countries: country A, country B, country C, and country D. Machinery and transport, manufactured goods, fuel, agricultural products. A 64 20 0 0 0 0 0 9 5 1 0 6 0 8 2. Let us see the question. Which of the following countries, A, B, C, or D, has the weakest economy? Okay, so the country with the weakest economy, mostly it is seen by what? We are going to take C, okay, because all right, so it's actually the tourist would want to view out country C has the weakest economy because it exports raw materials from agriculture, and these products do not have much value. Countries producing finished goods make more money than those exporting agricultural products. The strongest economies export manufactured goods, machinery, and transport, for example, Japan. So the correct answer was C, because they were importing raw materials. All right, number 10, calculate the beta index of the network shown on the topographical map below. As you can see, beta index, it is found by saying edges of a node. So edges are talking 1 here, 2, 3, these are edges, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 edges. All over nodes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 12 over 7. So this one get 1 comma remainder 5 into 50. We have 7, because 7 times 7 is 49. So it's 7 remainder 1 into 10. We have 1. So the correct answer is what? It's D, which is 1 comma 7. How best can the shortage of capital faced by the National Railways of Zimbabwe be solved? It can be solved by what we call privatization. Okay, so you need to understand what is this one. Privatization will enable National Railways of Zimbabwe to be run by private individuals. The profit motive will motivate the NRZ to operate efficiently, hence averting capital shortage. It will be able to raise its own capital through making profits. Number 12, the bar graph shows changes in exports from New Zealand in 1965 and the late 1970s. Okay, let's see. Centrally planned economies, developed countries, Japan, United Kingdom. So as you can see, United Kingdom exports. Okay, 1965, 19 this one. So there was increase in the exports from Japan. So let us see what the question is asking. Which country experienced the least increase in trade with the New Zealand? Which country experienced the least? It's actually United Kingdom, which makes D the correct answer, as you can see. Right, the pie chart below shows the destinations of a country's dairy products between 1980 and 2000. The pie chart below shows destinations of the country's dairy products between 1990. All right, let me see. What has been the greatest change in the pattern of the trade in the year 2000? Greatest change was on what? There. Let us see. There's no key. Oh, the key is there. Latin America, Asia, in America, Middle East, in Africa, Latin America, what change. So the greatest change is a decrease in trade to North America. So as you can yeah, it's actually a decrease in trade to North America. You can see by this one, this is North America, this one. So there was a serious decrease. Just to check, there was a serious decrease. Right, which of the following countries is in table 12.2 has an unfavorable balance of trade? Unfavorable balance of trade is when there is more imports than exports. Let's see which one is this one. I think it's Mozambique. It's Mozambique, which makes A the correct answer. So you can see that importing 589 while it's exporting 124. That's unfavorable balance of trade. A SADC member states responsible for agriculture research and animal disease control is what? Is actually Botswana. Is the one that deals with that one. All right, and number 16. Which of the following is not a way of promoting trade? Is not forming trade blocks. It's a way. Creation of free trade areas, setting export processing zones. What? So the wrong one is embargoes. Embargoes are a ban on the importation of goods from certain countries. Going on the embargoes. So this one is not going to promote trade. The best form of transport to transport crude oil from Beira to Zimbabwe is the best form of transport to transport crude oil from this one to this one is actually pipeline. Pipeline is the most efficient method used to actually transport crude oil. For most developing countries to attain favorable balance of trade, they should actually practice import substitution. The import substitution. Number 19. Which of the following is not a member of OPEC? Is not a member of OPEC. This one, let's see. It's Zambia. Zambia is not a member of OPEC. Is not a member of OPEC. Right. Zimbabwe is a landlocked country, but one of its cities is referred to as its gateway to the sea. To which city does the term Zimbabwe's gateway to the sea refers to? It refers to Mutare. Okay. So guys, this is paper 1. I hope you are assisted. So to continue, now working on section B, structured questions on transport and trade. Number 21 that we have, it says outline the advantages of animals as a mode of transport. Okay, so advantages of using animals as a mode of transport. Number 1 is that they are actually friendly to the environment since they do not cause air pollution. And another advantage is that they are not expensive to maintain as compared to other mode of transport. Another important point in that scenario is that animals, they are really available even to the poor, which means the poor, they can also have their own reliable source, their own reliable mode of transport. And then also another point is that they do not demand complex infrastructure such as roads. These are advantages of using animals as mode of transport. Item 2 is asking us the advantages of actually using bicycles as mode of transport or as a means of transport. Number 1, on bicycle, advantage that it is cheap to maintain, and not only to maintain, and also it is cheap to buy. It does not have extra costs such as fuel cost zvinoita motikari kuti kana waitenga, you are also going to have some extra cost on buying fuel and other things. When it comes to bicycle, there are no extra costs such as fuel cost. And also another advantage of using a bicycle as a means of transport is that it does not cause air pollution. It does not cause air pollution. And also, it is flexible and it provides door-to-door services. It provides door-to-door service. Next point, which is B. Fig 12 shows SADC countries A, B, Launta, Angola, Zambia, Lusaka, Botswana, Gaborone, Pretoria, Harare, Malawi, Mozambique, Maputo, everything there. What is actually the question saying? The question is asking, name the member countries labeled A, B, C. So the member country that is labeled A is the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. And on B there we have Tanzania. This is Tanzania. Please just go and memorize this map on SADC countries, right? And on C there we have Namibia. It's just below Namibia, just below Angola there, and it's close to Botswana. Next question, outline the responsibilities for the following SADC countries: South Africa, Lesotho, Angola, and Zimbabwe. Okay, South Africa is very important for finance and investment. Please know this. Finance and investment, that is the role of South Africa in SADC. And we have Lesotho. Lesotho is very important for water conservation and soil conservation. Water conservation and soil conservation. And Angola there is very important for energy conservation and development. Energy conservation and development. Zimbabwe is there for food security. All right, item 3. Name members of SADC that are responsible for preferential trade area, well known as PTAE. So the member states of SADC that are also members of preferential trade area, it involves countries like Angola, Lesotho, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and also other countries, Mauritius. Right, and C suggests how SADC countries can reduce problems of export marketing. Problems of export market can be reduced actually by introducing a common currency for SADC members. Introducing a common currency for SADC region. Another point or another measure that you can put in place in order to reduce the problems of export market to SADC countries is to actually create single border posts between SADC members to ease the movement of goods and also to ease the movement of people. And also we must remove visas, that is the removal of visas, introduction of trade fairs for member states, and also promoting free trade between the member states. Without wasting much of your time, let us go now to question number 22A. It says, what are the advantages and disadvantages of air transport? We have many advantages of using air transport as a method of transport. Number one advantage, it is that it is cheap over long distance. It is cheap over long distance. We are talking about advantages For now, it is cheap over long distance. It is cheap over long distance. And also another advantage is that it provides security during transportation of high valuable goods such as gold and other precious minerals. Tinenge tiri sure kuti zvinhu zvedu zvakachengetedzeka. So it carries, it actually provides security during the transportation of high valued goods. It is also fast and comfortable as compared to other modes of transport. It is fast, number one, and also it is comfortable, right? It is able to actually take direct routes, thereby limiting delays. It is able to take direct routes, thereby limiting delays, which means when you're using air transport, there is a limited delays. There is no delay. Why? Because they take direct routes. And also another advantage that it is able to actually carry people and goods away from dangerous environments or from hazardous environments such as floods or earthquake. It is able to actually carry the people from those hazardous environment. Let's now talk about the disadvantages of using air transport. My advantage is that it carries a limited amount of people due to strict weight limits. That's the first disadvantage. And another disadvantage is that it has limited use over short distance. It is actually not mainly used over short distance. It has a limited use when it comes to short distances. All right. And also through accidents, though accidents are rare, they tend to be fatal, they tend to be dangerous, they tend to be deadly. Okay. And also it is associated with the high cost of fuel. It is also affected by weather, and it causes air pollution. And the airports are usually located far away from the city centers. These are the disadvantages of using air transport. You also need to start the advantages and disadvantages of using other modes of transport like sea transport, like road transport, and other things. What measures should be taken? This is next question. What measures should be taken to solve the transport problems faced by commuters? You know, commuters, these are the people that actually migrate from home to work and from work to home. So what do you think are the measures that should be put in place to solve transport problems that these commuters are facing? All right. I think on that scenario, there must be introduction of commuter trains, because these people they are facing people, they are actually facing a problem of shortage of transport, and on that one we must ensure that there is going to be introduction of commuter trains. And also another point that I think is going to help in this scenario is that we must import, or we must encourage the government to actually importing more large capacity buses. Importing more large capacity buses only to deal with the problem of shortage of transport, and also importing more fuel, because other transport are not actually operating due to lack of fuel. So we must import more fuel, and the government can set bus fares, because these people are also facing a challenge of unstable bus fares, okay, or high bus fares. So the government can set bus fares. All right, the table below shows the imports and exports of a country over a period of time. So the imports in US million, exports in 1970, the imports and the exports were the same. The imports, we are referring to those things that are actually taken from other countries, that we are buying from other countries, and exports are talking about the things that we are selling to other countries. So the amount, the amount of imports and exports were the same. And in 1980, it becomes clear that the imports were less than the exports, which means in this scenario, there was a favorable balance of trade. Why? Because the difference between exports and imports, we call it balance of trade. And if we have more exports than imports, we call this favorable balance of trade. And in 1990, I can see again the imports and exports are the same again. And in 2000, my imports, they were more now than exports. This one, we call it unfavorable balance of trade, a situation whereby imports are more than exports. And in 2010, it becomes worse. Imports were increasing while least my exports, they were less. So what the question is saying, after studying the table, describe and explain the transition. The word describe in geography, it means state what is there, and explain, it means give reason for your observation. I hope you're getting it. Give reasons for your observations. So that's what the term explain means in geography. So I am going to actually explain these trends. As you can see, there is a general increase in imports from 1980 up to 2010. As you can see, there is a general increase in the what? In the imports from the year 1980 up to the year 2010. Okay, what is the reason behind this increase? This increase is due to the country's dependence on imports. This is the reason. So the description part is just stating that there is a sharp increase, that there is a general increase in imports from the year 1980 up to the year 2010. And the explained part, you are now giving reason towards that increase. The increase in the imports is due to the country's dependence on imports. Okay, and if you check very closely, you are going to see that from actually 1970. If you check very closely, you can see that from 1970 to 1980. 1970 year to 1980, there is a rapid decrease in imports. Rapid decrease. This is a sharp decrease. As you can see, from 280 million to 150 million, there is a sharp decrease in imports, or rapid decrease in imports. What is the reason behind that? The country was practicing import subsidization by producing its own products, which means, in other words, you're saying maybe the country was actually practicing import substitution, to the extent that the people they end up actually depending on their local goods, since whatever they used to import were locally available. So there was no reason for them to actually import other goods from other countries, since those goods, they are available in their own country at affordable prices and at cheaper prices. Maybe it's because this sharp decrease was as a result of introduction of quotas, introduction of taxes, which makes imported goods more expensive as compared to local goods. I hope you are getting it right. If you can check very close, you can see that there is a steady decrease of imports from the year 1970 to 1980. It's a steady. If you check from this one to actually this one, there is a steady. Right. The decrease of exports, it's actually exports. Yeah, a fair decrease of exports. There is a fair decrease of exports from the year 1970 up to the year 1980. Give us the reasons behind this fair decreases, only from 280 million to 240 million. The decrease in exports was due to a country's exhausting resources it used to export, such as minerals, which means the minerals they were used to actually export to other countries were exhausting. They were depleted. Okay, anga avakupera. All right. It is used for example, minerals. It can also be a result of industries closing down. What would be the reason for a decrease in exports? Maybe the industries they are closing. Maybe there is a serious lack of raw materials for the industries to actually keep on running. So as a result, those industries that are closing, and if the industries that are producing high quality goods are closing, what is going to happen is that there is going to be a decrease in the export, right? And also, if you check from the year 2000 to actually 2010, the exports remained constant, which means it remained the same. There was no change. What is the reason? It's because the country is maintaining its exports. It's actually maintaining its exports. And it is also maintaining traditional markets. Hence, there is no expansion in exports. So this question in this scenario, it has 3 marks. But most of the cases, it comes with the 10 marks, 9 marks, 7 marks, 11 marks, and so on. Okay, let's go to the next part. The question says, use a bar graph. Show the exports and imports for 1990 and 2000. So guys, you need to be specific, right? You must show only the exports, that is from 1990 up to 1980 up to 2000. Just to draw a bar graph. Obviously, you are going to put US in million, the amount of money, US in million, on the vertical axis, and on the horizontal axis, you are going to tell us about the years here. We want to see yes. Want to see yes, right? Then you're going to tell us 1980. You tell us what happened there, and then 1990. You tell us what happened there, and 2000. You tell us what happened there. Then you also draw your key. Could this bar with this color, it indicates imports, and this bar it indicates exports. So I'm going to do that. You are going to write, you just use your own scale. Maybe if you use 0, if you use 2 centimeters to represent 50, it's up to you. 50. Then here we have 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and stuff like that. Then you start drawing those bars showing what we call a bar chart. So let me just show you a bar chart. Okay, a bar chart for this question. You can see, please don't forget to put a key. All right. So this is it, guys. As you can see, in 1990, exports here, imports here, exports here, imports here, exports here, imports here. This is a good example of what you call a bar chart. All right, so that's it. All right, and the next question that we have, what were the problems created by the trade pattern in the year 2000? In the year 2000, if you check, a situation whereby imports are more than exports. What would be the problems created by this kind of trade, which is unfavorable balance of trade? So the problems obviously is actually devaluation of the local currency. The local currency, because of unfavorable balance of trade, because of the situation whereby imports are more than exports, it actually causes devaluation of the local currency. Right? Number two, it's actually unfair competition to local industries from imports and the high rate of unemployment. These are the problems. Okay. So next one, as an official in the Ministry of Roads, what measures would you take to reduce the rate of road carnage or road accidents in Zimbabwe? Okay, number one method that will obviously reduce the rate of road carnage or road accidents is actually dualization of roads. Which means widening of the roads, and also vehicle fitness inspection, and also fitness testing of the drivers, and also setting speed limits, those humps, and also imposing massive penalties for driving offenses such as drinking under the influence of alcohol. We must put heavy penalties, and also clearance of vegetation along the immediate sides of the road is going to also help to reduce the rate of accidents in Zimbabwe, and also resurfacing roads to remove potholes and stuff like that. It is going to help to reduce road accidents in our country here in Zimbabwe, and also setting minimum qualifications for professional drivers. It is also going to help reduce road accidents in Zimbabwe. It also putting well-labeled road signs so that actually the drivers will be able to read those road signs. If you check a road sign that we have in our Zimbabwean roads, they are all dilapidated, they are fade away, they are not clear. What is written there, you can't see it properly. So we must put well-labeled road signs so that the drivers will be able to read and to see what is being illustrated there, and also clearly marking dark spots or black spots on the road, and also awareness campaigns and education on road safety is also number one measure that is actually going to help to reduce the rate of road carnage or accidents in our country, Zimbabwe. So guys, I hope you are accident. I just did this video because of the request that I saw on YouTube. I wish you the best. I know you're going to make it in your final examination. After watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share our YouTube channel. Okay, there are other people also that are looking for this kind of stuff. If you share, you're going to save your brother, you're going to save your sister, also going to save your future wife or husband. Okay, so meet you guys in the next one. With this one, we are out for now.